horse friends. I'm Becca Salamone, and this is Southern Horse Talk. I am honored to have on the line with me today someone all the way from Conway, Arkansas. She is the founder and owner of the Velvet Rider, and her name is Jennifer Landers. Welcome to the show, Jennifer. How are you doing today?
Hi, thank you. So happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we could set this up. And, with Christmas coming and people shopping, I thought this would be a great time to talk about your business there. But
yes,
first of all,
definitely.
yeah, before we start talking about that, why don't we just talk about you and your history with horses and what you do with horses and how you're involved in the horse world.
All right. Well, I grew up riding actually in Western, and I grew up showing Appaloosas. My first horse was an Appaloosa mare named Ramona, and I did Western pleasure classes and trail classes. I've done barrels and poles way back in the past when I was younger. Then I took a little bit of a break for college, and then now I am back in riding and been riding dressage, and I have two horses. I have a Hanoverian named Petey and an off-the-track thoroughbred named Taylor.
Awesome.
And they are loves of my life.
Yeah, I bet. Well, that's a big change to go from Western to dressage. That's brave of you.
Yes, it was completely different, but the second time around I decided, well, I'm going to try something completely different.
Yeah.
And thought, I'll try dressage and see what I think, because I can always go back to Western if it didn't work out. But I absolutely love dressage and hope to be doing it for many, many years to come.
That's great. Now, you live in Arkansas, so are there lots of people involved in the English world and dressage and hunter jumper out there?
It is not a huge market. I am on the board of our dressage club here in Arkansas, and we run around a little over 100 members.
Okay.
And so we have about 7 to 8 schooling shows a year that start in March and run through about November. The hunter jumper world is probably a little bit bigger for the English here. And at my barn, we've got some eventers too, but we don't actually have any events competitions here in Arkansas. So they mostly travel to Louisiana and Texas.
Okay. And are you aware of what's going on in the Western world there? Is that part of your world?
It's not. It's not really anymore. I hear kind of here and there, but, I don't really have any friends that ride Western world and the English world now, so I'm not up to date.
Okay. All right, so you decided to do dressage, and you got involved in that, and you really liked it, and you started looking around to try to find some resources for that. Is that right? And that's how your business bloomed. Tell us a little bit about that.
My background is actually in retail. I was in retail and in the fashion world for several years until I switched to IT. And so I'd gone to market and had bought for a boutique that was locally owned. And so I've always been really interested in fashion and style and trends and knowing what's, hot at the moment. And so I thought, well, why can't that? That has to equate into the equestrian world also. And so I was looking one day trying to figure out, okay, like what's the big style brands that people like to wear and what's trendy at the moment.
Right.
And I couldn't really find anything. And so I just decided, well, I'll just write it myself.
Yeah.
So that's where Velvet Rider was born.
Yeah, well, necessity is the mother of invention. That's kind of how it is with Alabama Horse Talk and Southern Horse Talk. I'd gotten back into it after 35 years and didn't know where to find anything and didn't find a source to find stuff. So I said, well, I'll just do it myself.
Exactly. I can remember from when I was younger, the first time around, I remembered State Line Tack. And that was the only place I knew to go to whenever I restarted. So then I had, then it blossomed from there. I found a whole lot of different places.
That's awesome. So do you find that there's a lot of folks like you that got back into it after, several years absence, and so they identify with what you're doing?
I would say probably, my generation maybe. I have some friends that, of course, had ridden in their younger years and then had a break to get married and have kids and that sort of thing, kind of getting back into it now. But really, it's just kind of like we all ride and we all ride English and we all like to be stylish when we're riding and competing. And so I think it just really blooms from there because I try really hard to keep an eye out and look for maybe what's the next big, equestrian company that's coming up. And I think I have a pretty good eye for that. So that's been fun.
Okay, so for folks that don't know about the Velvet Rider, just kind of give a little spiel about, what it's all about and what you offer on the site.
Well, velvetrider.com is basically your equestrian lifestyle and style blog. I write posts about, equestrian trends, up and coming small equestrian businesses, maybe, what's hot right now, different companies that I try to find and, work with and bring to the attention of, my followers and viewers that they may not, have heard about them yet. We do a lot of product reviews, so I have a lot of companies that send me items to try out, and I write a lot of product reviews and tell about that product and post photos and photos of me using it, videos of me using the product. And then we also do giveaways, which is a lot of fun. We've got the Velvet Riders 12 Days of Christmas campaign going on right now. I do it every year, where I feature 12 equestrian businesses, and I feature one each day, and we have a fun giveaway, and sometimes there's a special promotion for that company as well, and we run it for 12 days. We're on day 11 right now, and then it'll end, day 12 is tomorrow, and then we'll let the giveaways run at the beginning of next week, so there's still time to enter.
Awesome. So when you're writing about these businesses and resources, are you actually interviewing the owners, or do you do the research and then just write something up?
I do both.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
There's some times where I'll send in questions to, the owner of these businesses, and they'll answer them and send them back to me, and then I'll write a little post about that. Sometimes I just go in and research and read about them and find out what they are about. And, sometimes we just correspond a few times through email and just kind of talk about different things.
Okay. And so maybe some of the products and businesses that you write about, perhaps they advertise on your site, and so people can go there and click to purchase whatever they're reading about. Okay.
That's exactly it, yes.
Okay.
There's always a little button at the bottom of the post that says buy now.
Yeah.
And it'll take you to that product.
Yeah, that makes it easy. Perfect.
Yes.
Now, tell us a little bit about, something, special or different on the blog. Like I noticed on, I don't know if it was under style or not, but it was called Spotted, where you spot somebody wearing something equine themed, I guess. Tell us about that.
I have a little Spotted thing to where if I worked with certain businesses in the past, or if I featured something on the blog, and when I've been out and about, if I see a photo, if I see someone wearing it, I try to snap a photo, and then that way I post it, and I'll be like, Spotted, like one of my favorite brands is Equestrianista Collection, and so if I ever see someone out and about wearing that, then I post a picture and Spotted, Equestrian Collection, and then whatever it may be. It's just a little fun little thing that I like to do. And it's also fun if I can see, if I ever find professional riders that have something on that I've mentioned before, that's always fun to post too.
Okay. Now, do you have any other little things like that are really kind of unique to the industry that nobody else is doing on the site?
That's probably really the only one. That's probably really it.
Okay.
That I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. And your goals for this business, is it just going to continue like it is, or do you want to turn it into a publication, or what's your main goal?
I would actually love to write for an equestrian magazine one day. I've written for Horse Illustrated in the past. Would love to make that more, permanent, because I love to write articles. And I'd also love to turn it into a tack store.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, those are great goals.
Yes.
So technology is a huge thing. It's really starting to come into the equine industry, and it's slower than mainstream, but it's getting there. So how have you found social media to be helpful to you, and what do you use? What channels do you have for that?
Social media is extremely helpful, and I think it's a must for pretty much any business nowadays. Facebook is probably not as helpful as it once was, just because they've changed the way that people view the page and view your post and things like that. Instagram is huge right now. I have gotten a lot of good feedback and followers from that. So there's a lot of people on Instagram at the moment. I'm also on Twitter, and that's a lot of fun. That's kind of an instant connection that you can connect with people and chat back and forth about something. So that's always fun. But really my big main ones are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I am on Tumblr and Google+, but I'm not as active on those as maybe I should be.
Right. Well,
but
of course,
all that goes back to the blog too, so there's always links to go back and check out the posts.
Yeah.
But I share everything on all those social media sites.
That's awesome. Now, do you use something like a Hootsuite or something like that to make it easy for you, or are you actually manually doing that?
I am manually doing it.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It keeps me very busy. But no, I've got Twitter and Facebook linked, so whenever I post on Facebook, it automatically goes to Twitter, so that helps. And then I've got some things automatically linked with Instagram. And on my Instagram, I tend to share a few more personal photos than I do on the others, so that's always more fun.
Yeah. Well, of course, Google Plus is dying. It's going to be gone, so you won't have to worry about that one anymore. But yeah, on Instagram, that really is popular. So do you have your business on there, or is it more of your personal account that you're sharing?
It is a business.
Okay.
It is, at the Velvet Rider is my screen name, and everything I post on the website and on Facebook goes on Instagram also, but I also filter in some more personal life things on Instagram too.
Okay. And so, tell us a little bit about the community, I guess, that you've gathered, and how often you correspond with people and actually talk with people, horse people.
Daily. I get emails, multiple emails every day. I get a lot of likes and comments on Facebook and Instagram, and I try to respond to them, especially if they ask me a question about something, or, where can they find such and such. I always try to respond to those. The blog comments, if they ask me something, I'm always trying to be really helpful and point them in the right direction. But the community is great. I'm at almost 500,000 hits a month on the website.
Wow.
And I got almost 11,000 likes on Facebook. So the community is great. Everyone is really nice. They've been great to chat with and correspond with, and me. I love getting emails from new businesses that are starting, and they let me know, what they're about and who they are, and then I always go check them out. So I do. I read everything.
Yeah, that's great. So what do you feel like can make something go viral in the equine industry, or make something be popular like that? Because obviously you're very popular.
I think if someone is starting, a new equestrian blog, I think you have to bring something different to the table. There's a lot of them out there now. There wasn't a ton when I first started. There is a lot of people trying to doing product reviews, so I probably would not suggest that be your main focus. I would suggest that you find something else that you can make your own and go from there. I would say my advice on making something go viral right now, like in social media, is probably something in equestrian humor. People like, that, because we all can relate.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you're right about that. So what's some of the things that you've learned about horse people, and I guess about the industry in general? How long have you had this business going? About 4 or 5 years?
3 years.
Okay, so what?
In 2012.
What have you learned over those 3 years?
Oh my gosh, I've learned so much. I have learned really what posts work, what posts don't work. I've been able to figure out kind of more of what my followers like, what kind of posts they like to see. People have been really nice. They've been great. So, it's really been a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I hope to keep doing it for years to come. I'm really enjoying myself.
That's great. So far, you've been about 3 or 4 years. What do you feel like is your greatest achievement in the equine industry?
I would say that large equestrian brands even know about Velvet Rider. I think that is huge. I've been able to work with Asmar Equestrian. I'm working with Coors now. Noble Outfitters. Just that they even know who we are or who know, about the blog and the website. I just think is incredible. Yeah. And even like this, that you'd even want to sit down here and interview me. I think that is just awesome.
I kind of have that same thing. I'm just a little old girl from Chelsea, Alabama, and trying to interview some great people, and I've talked to some of the most famous horse people in the world, and sometimes I can't believe it myself.
Yes, exactly. And I remember one time I can't even remember which one it was, but I made some posts on Facebook about dressage, and Janet Foy, she shared it, and I just thought that was the most
Yeah.
awesome thing ever.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because one time I had something like that, and the social social media examiner either liked it or commented on it or something like that, and so I contacted the owner, Michael Stelzner, I believe is his name, and private message. I was like, oh, I was so excited that Social Media Examiner had said something on my site or on my Facebook. And you feel like you can just really talk to people that are stars in the industry. And you can talk to them because social media puts everybody on the same level.
That's right. That's right. And it's fun to be out even in my community and being out at local horse events. And I don't talk about it a ton, but then people will come up to me and be like, "Aren't you the Velvet Rider?" And I'm always like, "Yes,
yes, I am.
Yes, I am actually. Thank you."
Well, that's great. Well, I appreciate you sharing with us today on Southern Horse Talk and telling us a little bit about yourself and your business. I really think that's a fun business that you're in.
It is. It's awesome. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we hope that you'll come back again and give us future updates.
I would love to.
Okay, awesome. Well, you have a good Christmas and good holiday season.
Thank you. You too.
All right. And viewers, you can subscribe to the Southern Horse Talk YouTube channel by clicking on the button below. And please go over to the Southern Horse Talk Facebook group and join us over there for the conversation, sharing your Southern equine lifestyle, your pics, your videos, and your horse story. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.